The person on the screen is Brian DeJesus, who has been a technician for 20 plus years. And in Florida, he's worked with Bremer for a long time and has been the lab manager there for just over 2.5 years. So Brian is going to give us a show and tell of Bremer O&P in Jacksonville, right? How large is Jacksonville?
Excuse me?
What's the population of Jacksonville?
Oh gosh, like 1.5 million, I believe.
Is it that big?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we're one of the largest in the country, I believe.
I didn't realize it was that large. I thought maybe, yeah, goodness. So how you have technicians working there now, Brian?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have 3 technicians plus myself.
And you're looking for another person, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And with the person that you're looking for, are you wanting someone who has already been at work, or are you looking for like a new graduate that comes out of school?
Ideally would have somebody who was a seasoned veteran, but that's very hard to come by nowadays. They're either well established or just not available in the area. So our big challenge is finding somebody who can work in prosthetics mainly on their own. But right now we're welcome to anybody who's willing to learn as well.
And the students, have had 2 years of education and training, so they know how to do things, but they may not be doing it exactly the way you all are accustomed to doing it. But at least they're not like off the street with no background whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, and that's fine. Everybody here has a different background. I was with the previous company for about 15 years, so when I came over here, I had to adjust to the way that they like to do certain things. But for the most part, we're basically looking for the end result to be good. It's okay if people have different ways of getting there. We just have some basic things that need to be taken care of as far as quality control. But it's we have a lot of freedom. Every technician here has a lot of freedom. We have a lot of trust in them to kind of do the things that is most comfortable with them.
Okay, great. All right, why don't you show us where the technicians work and tell us a little bit about the practice, would you?
Okay, sure. So this company has been around since the 30s. We have myself, predominantly prosthetics, but I do a mixed bag of just about everything. We have a leather room, clean room. Let me know if you can't see anything. But we have
yeah, that's it. That angle's good right there.
Okay, great. We have what we call the clean room, and this is where we finish braces predominantly. This is where we have sewing machines. These are some old Singer patchers, and then heavy duty Singer sewing machines. We do a lot of leather work. So actually, right here, if you notice, we have Alan. He's been he's been with this company for over 35 years.
Say hi, Alan.
And Alan is deaf, and he's actually really inspired a lot of us in the company to learn American Sign Language. And
great.
This is a school. It's a school for prosthetics. So Alan, he does all the leather work, and as you see, he's refurbishing a metal brace. So we do very unique actually to the O&P field. We do RGOs and HKFOs, so reciprocating gait orthosis and hip, knee, ankle, and foot orthosis. So we're really lucked out with people like Alan and David, who have been in the field for over 35 years, and they're really good at their craft. We do carbon braces as well. Pretty a big mixed bag of a lot of different things. We actually also helped an Olympian recently with a custom chest harness so that she could shoot her bow one-handed. She was born with a deformity and she couldn't use one of her hands, so we actually built a chest rig for her out of carbon fiber to where she can actually shoot her bow one-handed.
Goodness.
And here was this is the main lab. It's pretty big as far as labs go, especially for only 4 technicians. We do quite a bit of volume of work. Over here is just mold storage. And we also make our own custom body jackets. So we have a bunch of stock size molds made out of foam, rigid foam, that we can actually pull custom body jackets out of for hospital calls. Let's see, right here is the laminating prosthetics, modifying bench for prosthetics. Then we have what we call the dirty.
Do you get referrals from any other practice?
We do. Every once in a while, there'll be a case that I wouldn't say is too hard for them to do, but sometimes you get overflow and they're just too much for them, or there's a specific need, and they'll come to us mostly for metal bracing, because the guy, he's not here right now, he's out to lunch, but David is fantastic in metal bracing. In my 20 plus years, I would say he's the best that I've ever seen in metal bracing by far. So this is the room where we do most of the carbon grinding and the laminating. So I have two stands that I can laminate simultaneously. A lot of the stuff we made ourselves. Like you can see the stands, they're just made out of wheels, and we had a shop just weld them up for us. I have all my carbon materials and all that stuff up there. Let's see, where else? Hopefully David would come by so you can say hi to him. But we have quite a bit of metal work. We get a lot of referrals, like I said, for RGOs, the reciprocating gait orthosis. That is not something that a lot of people do. Usually you have to send that out to a company like Phil Auer or Becker, but David is actually able to do all this here in-house. So that's quite the feat. Then we also have over here the metal room. So this is David's stock room, where he has all of his stock parts. Grinding room. And it's actually a little messy right now. We usually keep this place pretty clean because all the technicians that are here have been here for a while. So we actually keep this place pretty clean, despite how much work we actually do. Let's see what else. Oh, we have a sandblaster here. Let's see. This is the place where we do most of the plastic bracing for orthotics. It's a pretty large bench. We used to have another person here, but they're not here with us anymore. So right now, this is the orthotics modifying and plastic bench, and this is Stichin. The Stichin Thel. He's actually a practitioner from Cambodia, and he came over to the United States and was doing AC work, and we found him through a headhunter and asked him if he would like to do technician work with us. So he said yes, absolutely. So we actually have a practitioner who's licensed in another country, helping us out with orthotic work, and he does really good plastic work.
That's very interesting. It's interesting too that you're doing some fairly specialized devices with Alan and David.
Yes,
things
ma'am.
That an average practice wouldn't be doing, it looks like.
Correct. Yeah, the metal work that they do is fantastic. Not very many labs that I've been to and that I've spoken to, they do that stuff anymore.
What is the primary focus of the practice, Brian?
It's pretty split 50-50 with prosthetics and orthotics. When I came here about 5 years ago, it was growing rapidly in the prosthetics department, and they didn't have a technician to meet that demand. I was actually working on my own in real estate, and I had a friend call me and said, "Hey, this lab really needs some prosthetic work. Do you mind going over there and just talking to them?" And there was so much work. I just decided to start working here full time, and been here ever since. It's been growing very rapidly. So historically, mostly orthotic company, but right now, it's pretty split 50-50.
And are most of the prosthetic patients there because of diabetes, or what's driving that?
I would say probably about 60% is diabetic related.
Okay.
And pretty similarly, maybe not that high with orthotics, but we do also do the partial foot inserts for people who have lost part of their limbs and part of their feet due to diabetes. We do get a pretty good mixed bag in range of people's age and activity level, but predominantly diabetic related.
Okay. And this practice is it in downtown Jacksonville or on the perimeter? Where is it located exactly?
So in the map of Jacksonville, it's pretty centralized. I wouldn't say downtown, it's just south of downtown.
Okay.
It's an area called Riverside. So it's a very nice place. It's right by the water. I'm probably less than a block away from the river. The St. Johns River, I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's one of the biggest in the country. And Jacksonville is land-wise is the largest city in the country. And then we're less than an hour away from St. Augustine, which is the oldest city in the country. So we have a pretty good mixed bag of everything. So you have the beach life, you have the city life, and then you have the suburban life, and then even country life, where you're outside of the Duval City District, and you have a pretty good mixed bag anywhere you go in the city.
Things to do and activities. Absolutely,
yeah. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we have hockey teams, we have rugby teams, baseball teams. So it's been great. I born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, if you've got baseball, you're better than the rest of us, since nobody's got it today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What about, how many practitioners are there? I know Todd Norton is there. Who else is there?
Yes, we have Mackenzie, who works primarily out of this office. She does both orthotics and prosthetics. We have Andrew, who does both orthotics and prosthetics. We have Richard Coleman, who does both orthotics and prosthetics. Melanie Reth, orthotics and prosthetics. And we have some subcontractors with Paul Reed and Larry Chase. So we have a very large ratio of practitioner to technician. And it's just been because of demand. We have 24-hour on-call service with the hospitals around here. Since we do provide a proprietary back brace system, they will get a call any time of the day. So we do have a 24-hour on-call service. So we have a pretty high demand for practitioners.
How does it work with a subcontractor?
If one of our people are not physically able to go do it, then we'll call him, and he has a fee to take care of the slack.
So they fill in if you have an opening, so if
Correct.
Somebody's not there or on vacation or sick or something.
Absolutely. Yep.
I see. Okay.
And it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you get a perfect storm where everybody is either out on vacation, or you have a mixture of people being sick and being out on vacation. So, everybody has kids, everybody has life. So it's good to have a little safety net with the practitioners. Sure,
that makes a lot of sense. I'm wondering, talking about certified technicians, we urge all of our technicians in Spokane, all of the students, when they're finishing, we urge them to get certified right away. Is that a preference that you have at your practice, to have techs that are certified?
It would be great, but I myself am not certified, so I wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, you have to be certified or not. It would be awesome so you can have that basic training to help us with the curve of teaching, but it's not necessary. It's definitely encouraged. Okay,
so it's encouraged. Do you pay someone that's certified more than non-certified?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. I think it would come down to your ability to learn quickly on your feet and be able to work independently, to where we can give you a task and you can go ahead and do that without needing assistance.
So performance is the big issue.
Exactly. Yeah, that's mainly the goal. Yeah.
And what about attitude and ability to relate and get along? How does that factor in?
Well, I think it's pretty big in almost any working environment. We rely on each other.
Let's say you've got somebody that can create great devices, but they're very temperamental. How do you manage that?
We've had that situation not that long ago. After I started working here, we had somebody similar to that, and I think we gave them about 2 years worth of time of really trying my best to help them change their attitude. But then at the end of the day, it was affecting the dynamic in the lab with people getting along with each other. So we did have to let that person go. Because it is very important to Todd that everybody respect each other, even if we don't like each other, if we get on each other's nerves, which inevitably we will because of how close we work with each other.
Sure.
And we are relying with each other, relying on each other to get things done. It's really important for Todd that everybody respect each other.
So. Okay. So performance is great, but it's got to be performance plus a positive, open, work with everybody attitude.
Absolutely. Me personally, I would rather have somebody who is willing to learn and is respectful than to have somebody who is the best at their craft but doesn't get along with anybody. And
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Now you mentioned some of the positive aspects of living in Jacksonville. What are some of the positive aspects of working at Bremer O&P?
Honestly, I've worked with a different O&P company, and I have never seen a boss who appreciates their employees as much as Todd does. So I would probably say that's number one for me in this company. When Todd finds somebody who's valuable to him, he shows it, and he will go the extra mile to make sure that you're taken care of. And I've experienced it firsthand that Todd, he's a fantastic boss to work with. And quite honestly, that's the very beginning with every job. That's where the buck stops. So if the boss is not in the right place, then everything else is not going to be in the right place. So luckily that is here. We're a relatively young company, but as far as the new ownership goes, but Todd is a fantastic boss to work with, and he's really setting the bar and the pace for everybody to thrive, really.
And you think the other employees would echo that?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. What about the financial benefits for working with Bremer?
Todd, he does match. He does have benefits, health insurance, and investing options.
Okay.
And he also, I know one of the questions was relocation benefits. I believe he does offer that. I want to say it's $3,000 to $5,000 for a relocation benefits if that is something that's needed.
Well, that's likely to get somebody from Spokane or Minneapolis or White Bear. I mean, even Oklahoma City would probably spring for that, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that the practice is in your area? Is it, do you think, recognized as being a strong practice, well-known, visibility, credibility in the area?
Absolutely, especially in the orthotics industry. That if you need a metal brace, if you need a good plastic brace, this is where you go. And then, like, since I've been here and since Todd has been the owner, the prosthetics is slowly but surely getting there as well. And especially oddly enough, in the hip disarticulate community here in Jacksonville, we work really closely with the VA. And I would say just about 90% of the hip disarticulates that go through the VA are referred to us just because of how well Todd has been able to make a system work with that. It's a very difficult amputation to deal with, and Todd has been really getting it good.
Good. Okay. Is the name Bremer, was that the name of the practice when Todd bought it?
Yes. So that comes from Wilmore Bremer, who was the creator of the company in I believe 1934, and then it was sold to his son Ross Bremer, who is still around, still alive. He was actually here about 10 minutes ago. He sold the company, I believe, in '93 to a man named Butch Lovelace, who started here sweeping the floors and then became an orthotist and then bought the company. And then Todd was also, yes, ma'am. And now Todd was also the current owner, was an intern, no payment, just a free intern. I think in 1994, I think, something like that is when he started. But it's a long history of from the ground up.
Apparently. So Todd started as an intern, then became a CPO, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And then he bought how long ago did he buy the company?
I can pull it up right here, actually.
Just curious.
Let me give you a screen share. Now, bear with me. I've never done this before. Let me know if you see this. You see this?
Yeah, we see the president, Todd Norton, with a giraffe.
Exactly, yeah. Recently, for our 2021 Christmas party, we actually went to a local preserve here in town. All right, so this is the nifty PowerPoint that I got presented for you. So here's a little bit of the history of there's a ceiling fan. There's a lot of work going on, so I'm trying to find a quiet place.
Right. So he went to Northwestern graduated in 95. How interesting.
All right, there we go. So Todd is predominantly prosthetics. He doesn't really do too many orthotics. As you see here, we have 23 employees. We have 3 locations, 24-hour on-call service. I speak Spanish and English. We also have an administrator who speaks Spanish and English, and we also have a practitioner who speaks Spanish and English.
Plus, you have Alan who does sign language.
Exactly, and like I said, yeah, exactly. We kind of try to cater to everybody, and in Florida, you have to have some Spanish. Not so much as South Florida, but in North Florida, you know, it is very helpful.
Yeah, it is actually, I think, everywhere. What about the other locations?
So out of the 3 locations, this is the only place that has a lab. All the other places have equipment to do modifications, but not fabrication. So we have the location in Southside Jacksonville, which is pretty, they call it Southside, but if you look at the map of Jacksonville, it's pretty much smack dab in the middle. And they are right beside a major hospital named Memorial Hospital. So out of there, they will see patients full service, but any kind of fabrication, they'll send it to this lab.
So the patients go to the other locations, but then the work comes to you guys and it goes back there. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So they give us the work orders with the items, we make them and then ship them back out. The
and where's the third?
The third one is in Ormond Beach. And that one is also full service as far as patients go, but that one also just has a mini lab for modifications. We are open to the idea of having a dedicated technician working out of the Ormond office, just to take care of that practitioner. It's an area that we just recently expanded to, and so far what they've been doing is sending the work to us in Jacksonville. It's about a 1-day turnaround ground. But we would like to cut that down a little bit and have a dedicated technician there if possible. So we're kind of exploring that option as well.
Okay. Did you buy a practice that was already there?
No, ma'am. We just expanded. Bremer. Okay. Yeah, we bought a building and expanded.
Okay. So if the tech was there, then they would work with your group, but they'd be primarily the building has enough space to put in a technician area, work area.
Exactly. Yeah. So to basically cater to that practitioner's needs, okay. Kind of help cut down turnaround time. And this is a breakdown of the company, as far as how many, so you can see how many practitioners we have here on the left hand side. Right. It's quite a bit. The bottom ones are the 2 that are the subcontractors. So Larry Chase specializes in helmets for children who have head deformities.
Oh, really? Okay.
Exactly. And then Larry, then Paul Reed can do any of the other things. He's prosthetic orthotic, and so he can take care of our body jacket hospital calls if nobody else is available.
Good. That's good. Mm-hmm. Are there any questions from Oklahoma or Spokane's on there? Anybody have any questions? Everybody's quiet. You've given us a lot of information. Joe, do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I think we don't have any questions, I don't guess, unless anybody has any. No questions here.
Remember that there's a relocation from Oklahoma to Jacksonville.
Oh, another great thing that I've noticed with this company as well is we have nearly central fabrication volume of work, but we still work directly with practitioners and patients. As you can see in this slide, it's not sort of detached where a lot of labs can be, where all you do is see the work that you need to do, and after you're done with it, you ship it out. We actually do work directly with patients. A lot of times if Todd is not available and another practitioner is not available and they need help or some sort of problem solving, and I'm available, I go over there and I can talk to the patients, find out if it's something that I can do or if it's something that he actually does need to see a practitioner. But it's great because we get to know the patients.
That is good. Now, would the other technicians be able to do that too?
Absolutely, yeah. David has some polio patients that have been coming here for 30 years. So he knows these people intimately. He knows their birthdays. He knows their family situation. And we have some patients come from all over the country, and even some outside of the country to come to us for specific reasons. They just like how we make the brace, or like how we make their leg.
You've been very helpful telling us all of this. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
So
ma'am, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
I thank you very much. Please thank Todd. I'll send him a note and thank him too. If there's no questions from anybody, we'll let you go. But thanks very much, Brian. You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day.